if you're a couple planning to relocate out of Nigeria, do a marriage reality check to be sure that your marriage has what it takes to survive abroad. First of all, let me leave a disclaimer. This video I'm doing is inspired by a conversation I had with a friend yesterday who was sharing an ordeal of a family friend of hers whose marriage abroad is at the verge of being destroyed. And then I could relate 100% because I equally have, someone close who is a victim of the same. And the countless social media stories that we see every single day is just enough to have an opinion. And so I did some kind of research. I'm not an immigration family counselor, if there's anything like that, but I've done quite some research on this particular topic. And here are what you need to know when it comes to Nigerian marriages abroad and the things that you should look out for. First of all, one of the causes of marital breakups among Nigerian marriages abroad is the fact that there's a loss of support system. Now, in doing a comparative analysis with what is obtainable back home, you discover that there is a lot of support system here. Yes, you have extended family all around you. You have domestic staff. You have a housemaid or whatever. You have help, basically. Your church community. You have people, familiar people. This is home to you, right? And so there's a lot of issues that probably could arise in the family that the society or the systems you have built around the support system helps you absorb it, and it doesn't really show. In the case of the diaspora, where you hardly find any external support system, there are no house helps, there are hardly extended family members, and you really do not have any community or group that you have, identified with. All the pressures land on the shoulder of the husband and the wife. So everything, literally, there is nobody else to absorb it except the both of you. So that lack of support system brings a lot of strain and stress to the parties involved, and that could be one cause of crisis, right? Now, another cause is the growing financial pressure. The financial pressure is lots from research and from stories heard. The financial pressure is a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, there's not like there are no financial pressures back here at home, but you can also agree with me that it's a lot manageable because you understand how your finances are, how they work, you understand how the Nigerian system works. But over there, your rents are paid monthly, there are a lot of taxes, there are just a lot of bills to be paid. And so this financial pressure can be a lot. Let's not even talk about black tax. You have friends and family back home who expects a lot of support from you as well. And so it can be a lot on the shoulders of couples. For some reason, this can be a huge trigger for family crisis when the finances are not adding up, where you are not meeting up with your financial roles and responsibility, or where you just have too much to deal with when it comes to money issues. This can trigger a lot of marital crisis. So the earlier you know about it and get ready and prepared, the better you're able to navigate the situations when they arise. Now, another one is the cultural differences. Now, the culture over there is very different from what is obtainable back here. Family systems are run differently. The way marriages operate in Nigeria, in Africa, is quite different from in the European world. Here, there's a lot of sacrifices that go into marriage, right? When you go to an environment where individualism is preached and everybody feels like, love yourself above every other person, put yourself first, it's me before husband or it's me before wife, things like that. Now, that's a narrative that can trigger family crisis in the relationship. Cultures are different. So the moment you begin to enculturate yourself with the existing culture and forgetting where you're coming from and the purpose for which you are married in the first place, the tendency of, striking this difference can be high. So know what works for you. Do not compare yourself with other couples. Do not allow social media to, derail you. Focus on what matters most to you and let it be. Another one would be emotional connection. You have to build strong emotional connection with your partner. Now, in the moment that you isolate yourself, because the truth is, the moment you are not emotionally connected to your partner, you can feel isolated. And this emotional connection comes from deep sense of communication. If you're planning to These are the things, these are the areas, you need to begin to do a reality check on. Look at it very closely. Am I really emotionally connected to my partner? If you're seeing some strains, talk about it. Have an honest conversation with your partner before you embark on this, on this life-changing journey, so that you begin to amend a lot of things in your relationship if you have the best interest of your relationship at heart. This one is big for me, and that is shifts in gender roles. It's very big because this kind of happens to be like the main cause of a lot of marital crisis among Nigerian couples abroad, where money, finance happens to play a huge role negatively. So now, back here in Nigeria, a lot of men shoulder a lot of family responsibilities. Now, I know that families have their dynamics and families are different, but then we can tell that on the average, most men are known to be responsible for shelter, for food, for clothes, for school fees, for, basically meeting up with their responsibility as fathers, as providers in the family. Now, this kind of makes some men, of course, not all men, this kind of makes some men to want to limit their wives, or especially men who are egocentric. They feel like because I'm the provider, they use that to actually weaponize themselves against the women, and the women cannot really be who they are. They can't talk, they can't be free to express themselves, because if they do, they are going to be dealt with or deprived because the man provides. But when you go to an environment where women are, enabled, women have the tendency to earn equally or even earn way more. So it doesn't matter your gender, you can actually thrive, you can do well, you can work and earn. If you find yourself in that environment, as a woman, if you're not careful, if you don't hold values of respect and submission, you can most likely begin to get to the head, and then you begin to act like, okay, what's more? And then, especially women who might have felt deprived over the years, may use that to, feel empowered enough to do what they want to do, say what, feel like I have arrived, basically, and begin to, forget their roles and forget their biblical injunctions as women, as wives in the family. So if you're a man, understand that environment would empower your wife. So if you're a man who feels like your wife should not match up to you, or if your wife is thriving, you feel threatened, you need to have a mindset shift and understand that environment can actually empower your wife to do much more. So the earlier you begin to understand that and begin to embrace your wife thriving and not get threatened, the better. So here's the truth about ensuring that your relationship survives abroad. One, redefine your rules before you go, before you take on that trip. Redefine your rules as a father, as a husband. What am I expecting? What is expected of me? As the wife, what is expected of you? Redefine these rules clearly. Be intentional about communication. I cannot overstress this. Communicate about everything, about your feelings, about your observations, about every single thing in your relationship. Talk about it. Have hard conversations and be ready to be flexible enough for change. So if your partner is complaining about something that you've communicated with, do not stick on, the old expectations. Plan your finances together. So if you are, if you're a family who have always over time worked on the principle of the man's money is the family money and the woman's money is her money, everybody is accountable for their separate monies, that can have a negative impact on your relationship in diaspora. Plan your finances together, because that's one way that the family can thrive and achieve great milestones together as a family unit. Build new support system. Don't isolate yourself. Don't, limit yourself. Open yourself up. You see that support system that you have lost from back home. Build community of like-minded people. You can join groups in your church or your immediate community. That can help you settle in, and that can help you have a sense of, belonging. You're not alone in this new environment. And finally, prioritize emotional connection. So no matter what, find activities, find things that help you stay connected emotionally to your partner, to your children. Let love lead, basically. Let love be your number one goal. Build love, build understanding, build mutual respect. These morals should be heightened. That way your family will thrive, your Nigerian relationship will do well, and then you're not going to, send in messages that, oh, my family is going through a hard time, we might be considering divorce and things like that. I hope that Nigerian marriages thrive and do better, and then the narratives that we're hearing every single day about people who travel abroad eventually go, and then the center can no longer hold and they eventually fall apart. I hope that this narrative begins to reduce and that a lot more people get ready mentally, physically, emotionally, and in every capacity, in every facet, try to get, prepared before they eventually go. I hope this video helps you. If it does help you and you know it's going to help someone else, please do well to give it a like and share it. Until I see you in the next one. Bye.